Okay, so let's solve the following problem. Now we have, it's asking us, what is the antiderivative of the following function? F of x equals 3x squared plus 4x to the power of 3. Okay, so first of all, we need to remember that the antiderivative of a function is the opposite of a derivative. So basically, we need to find the, let's say, the root function or the function that when differentiated will give us this answer, 3x squared plus 4x to the cube. In order to do so, there is a rule or a formula we can use to find this antiderivative. So the formula says, or the formula tells us the following. If we have a function in the form f of x equals x to the n, right? Let's write it like this. F of x equals x to the power of n, then its derivative, its antiderivative, let's write it here, then its antiderivative will be, pay close attention to this, capital F of x, that this capital F means we are taking the antiderivative, equals x to the n plus 1, right? N plus 1 divided by n plus 1. So this is the rule we need to take here. And there is another rule that tells us that if there is a constant being multiplied by a function, then the antiderivative of that function will be the constant multiplied by the antiderivative of the second function. In other words, if I had a function in the form f of x equals a constant times g of x, the antiderivative of f of x, which would be f, capital F, equals the same constant times the antiderivative of g of x. Right? So we can use these two rules to find the antiderivative of this function. So let's try to do that. Okay, so in this case, let's start with 3x squared. In this case, we can use this formula. In this case, n will be the power of 2, right? N will be the power of 2. I'll write the formula here so we can take a look at it. And now highlight it in yellow. Okay, so we have this formula here. So 3x to the power of 2. In this case, n is going to be 2. So n equals 2 for the first function, right? For the second function, n will be 3 because it will be this power of 3, right? So for the first function, n equals 2, and for the second function, n equals 3. And I can apply this formula to the two parts of the function f of x. So in this case, we have that the antiderivative of the function will be 3 times x raised to the power of 2. This 2 we have here, 2 plus 1, divided into the sum of 2 plus 1 again, into 2 plus 1, right? So we have the power, n will be 2. 2 plus 1, we add a 1 to the power and divided by the power 2 plus 1 as well. Next, the same happens to 4x to the power of 3. In this case, it will be 4x to the power of 3 plus 1. We add a 1 to this 3 we have here, and all of that divided by the same. 3 plus 1, n plus 1, n will be 3, so it will be 3 plus 1. And of course, whenever we're taking an antiderivative, we need to add a constant c. That's because it will represent the family of possible functions whose derivative will be 3x squared plus 4x to the cube. Okay, so now let's try to simplify this. So we have the following function, f of x equals 3x to the power of 2 plus 1 divided into 2 plus 1 plus 4x to the power of 3 plus 1 divided into 3 plus 1 plus c. We know that 2 plus 1 will be 3. Okay, so it will be x cubed. 2 plus 1 equals 3 divided into 3. 3 plus 1 will be 4. 3 plus 1 will be 4 as well. And we just keep c as it is. This can further be simplified. As you may notice, this 3 we have here can be cancelled with this 3 we have here. And this 4 we have here can be cancelled with this other 4 we have in the denominator. So the final function will be f of x equals x to the power of 3 plus x to the power of 4 plus a constant c. And this will be our answer. Now, if you need to prove this answer, you can go ahead and take the derivative of this function, and you should end up with the same as the original answer. That proves that our antiderivative is correct. Let's try to do that. Let's try to find the derivative of f of x. F prime x equals, we move this 3 down, 3x to the power of 3 minus 1, plus we move the 4 down, 4x to the power of 4 minus 1, plus the derivative of a constant will always be 0, so we just leave it as 0. So if we simplify this, we will get that its derivative will be 3x to the power of 2 plus 4x to the power of 3. And as you may see, we returned to the original problem, 3x to the power of 2 plus 4x to the power of 3. So our antiderivative is correct, this one. F of x equals x to the power of 3 plus x to the power of 4 plus c. Okay, so I hope this was helpful for you. If you like this video, please click the follow button and click the like button as well, the subscribe button and the like button. And if you need any live tutoring, any live math tutoring, you can click on the link on the description. I will be happy to work with you. Have a great day.